Thanks for checking out Hoops Hidden Gem podcast. We're coming live to you this weekend, or this Monday, excuse me, from Lexington, Kentucky. I am on assignment, so I'll be up here for a couple months. So I'll be shooting it up here in Lexington, Kentucky. We were out for the past 2 weeks, so thank you all for being patient and coming back and sticking with us. We got another great show for tonight. We have Mr. Shay Lee, the coach from New Mexico Junior College. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, David. How you doing?
Man, hustling. You know how it is. Anytime I'm talking to you, I'm usually in the car, so you know how it go.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's good to have you nice and settled in where you at.
Definitely, definitely. So, in regards to New Mexico Junior College, tell the world about it. I mean, we know that it's one of the top JUCO programs for women. This is your stage right here. Tell me what's going on with New Mexico Junior College.
Well, yeah, I mean, just to kind of piggyback off of what you just mentioned, definitely one of the top JUCOs in the nation, Division I JUCO. Usually ranked within the top 10. Of course, this year it's a little different. We didn't get to have a season due to COVID and the restrictions that were put on our state. So we are not ranked this year, but best believe we'll be back in that list next year.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so myself, I'm the assistant coach, New Mexico Junior College, and my head coach, Austin Mefford. We were both hired on early 2020. And we basically came here with one plan, is to keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Drew Sanders, he did great during his time here. I was actually able to play underneath him as well as a player in 2012. And so being able to have the opportunity to come back and play for my alma mater, we won the conference championship while I was here. And so that was big for me. And I know that a lot of young ladies are also looking for the opportunity to do the same. And then on top of that, just moving forward to, whatever school fits them best.
Okay. So with it being one of the top JUCOs, I can assume the placement rate is very high between Division I's and Division II's, right?
Definitely. And one thing we always let the young ladies know, every level is an opportunity. However, most of our young ladies, if they're coming to play for New Mexico Junior College, they're looking to go Division I, Division II. We get a lot of young ladies who transfer in from Division I's, Division II's, and they'll get here for a year and they plan to go back out, finding somewhere that fits them a little bit and more suitable for them to call home. But yes, the placement that, as I mentioned, Drew Sanders, I mean, he did a great job. And then also my head coach, he's worked at a couple of different places where he's been able to gain connections, and his young ladies who he's coached in the prior years have also been able to move forward into some really powerful top JUCO, or excuse me, top Division I's and Division II's.
Okay. So you said you are alumni of here, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Very
and
proud.
Where did you go to once you left New Mexico, JC? Where did you go?
So I transferred in from a Division I out in Cali, where I'm from.
Okay.
Cal San Luis Obispo. Had a bad injury, came here for a year, got myself together, back in shape, and I transferred out to Murray State University, where I played for Rob Cross.
Gotcha.
And I spent the rest of my years there, including my graduate year, and I actually went straight from playing into coaching, and that's kind of how I got my time started in coaching, and it's been a ride ever since.
Okay. Nice. So give me, a lot of people don't really understand the whole JUCO process. Some people take it as a step back or as last chance you, which we both know that's not the case.
Not at
But
all.
just break it down. When you talk to people and they're a little leery on JUCO, just break it down. How you talk to certain prospects when it comes to that.
Oh man, well, basically my first question is I ask them, do you know how JUCO works for the most part?
Mhm.
And that answer can always be 50-50. Is yeah, I got it. I'm just trying to figure out, what your school is all about, or it's a complete no. In which I go through my whole spiel of basically talking their head off, but I'm trying to make sure that they understand. But yes, the perception that JUCO is a step backwards or the last resort is definitely that's the wrong idea. This is
Gotcha.
probably some of the best opportunities for some young ladies. Getting out of high school, you don't have the grades. You need to go JUCO to be able to, get your grades in a better stance for you to be able to transfer to a Division I, Division II. Maybe your grades were fine in high school, but you ain't got the looks that you want. And you feel like, you deserve a little bit more attention. Hey, come on, JUCO. You go out, you show out. You put your talent on the screen. You go to these tournaments where the college coaches are going to be, and you get yourself seen. Also, as I mentioned, like it was for myself, an opportunity where my first university didn't work out for me. And I had a couple of different JUCO options to fall back on. And of course, you do the research on New Mexico out of all my other options. I mean, this was the place I wanted to be. But for young ladies who they go somewhere and maybe that first place didn't work out, it's definitely an opportunity to come and start over. And so for those who believe that it's a step backwards, it's definitely not. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, it's probably one of the best opportunities for a lot of young ladies and a lot of young men on both sides, for you to just go ahead and get you a fresh start.
Well, and as we talked over potential prospects, you brought something to me that totally, it was brought to me, and I had to ask you because I didn't know. I had no idea that even going JUCO, and let's just say I'm a high school student that took some college credits already. I didn't know you guys had it set up to where you can do dual enrollment at other schools as well. I was like, man, at a 4-year university, excuse me, let me be clear on that. And, because I had to ask you, I'm like, hey, can you guys do this? And can you do this for prospects, especially if it's a D1 prospect transferring in? And they're saying, well, coach, I'm already past my sophomore year because academically I took some classes in high school, whatever the case may be. So when I came to you and you gave me that answer, and listen, that was an educational moment for me. Can you break it down how that works?
Oh, definitely. And I'll start by saying I don't think that we would be the only JUCO who allows that, But yeah, I mean, you get some kids who have some extra credit coming out of high school, and then they did a year in college, and now they kind of just a little bit more ahead than usual. Maybe not your traditional freshman, maybe not your traditional sophomore. I mean, first things first, we always take a look at the transcripts for those type of players who we would be interested in, just to make sure that it would make sense, because there are some cases where, we might not have the ability to get them in here and it'd be beneficial towards their degree. And even though, you come in, you can play ball for us and you can score some points, we want to make sure that we're able to, put you in the right position academically as well. And so being able to take a look at the transcripts from wherever they may be transferring from, or if they're coming out of high school and they have some extra credits that they've taken throughout their time in high school, and really lining it up with what we have and what we offer, which New Mexico, on top of it being one of the best JUCO athletic programs, our academics are off the chain. And I'll say that.
Really?
I mean, we have a lot of different programs that tie to, nursing, welding, we're right here in the oil field. So it's a lot of different technical things, which are not traditionally the highest priority for athletes, but sometimes you never know. And so, being able to get those kids in here, we take a look at them. We have a couple of local universities that offer some classes as well. Maybe we don't offer a class, but we'll be able to enroll them into this class over here, and it'll kind of transfer into our own degree the same way that we need it to, as if they were taking classes from us, for them to be able to graduate and move on. Or maybe they're just moving on, they're past that sophomore graduation year, but they're just moving on and getting to the next school.
Okay, so that's the academic piece. Now, I know this is your baby right here. So if I come to New Mexico JC, as a young lady and say, hey, coach, I really need player development. That's why I'm here. My grades are fine, but I didn't, like you said, I didn't get the looks that I want. What is New Mexico JC going to do to help me develop to get to where I'm trying to get?
Oh man, we're gonna do all that we can do. I mean, and that's the good thing about being JUCO. At the Division I, Division II levels, it's a lot more restrictions on time and when you could be in the gym and how you're in the gym and can you use a ball, can you not use a ball. But one thing that I definitely love myself, as you just mentioned. It's player development. It's one of the reasons, not the only reason. I stay in shape for my health, of course, but I love being able to stay in shape to be able to get up and down with the girls, being able to, not just tell them what to do during the drills, but I'm out there busting a sweat as well because I want to be able to show you the type of movements that you're able to do that are transition into your game. And not just myself, but my head coach is also big on offensive development. A lot of shooting, a lot of post moves. If you are a post player, we're going to do a lot of repetition with moves that not just fit into our offense, but we might know what some of these schools that are looking at you, want and what type of system they play. And so we're going to work on things that help you in that matter. And then we also always ask every recruit, on our video calls, whatever we do, what do you feel like the biggest part of your game that you could work on? And, whatever they tell us, we kind of take note of that and we go try to help you improve that while you're here.
Okay. So now, one of the things that some schools may be big on, or some prospects, a lot of people may sit up here and ask, hey, what type of connections do you have to schools to help me achieve my goal? Because we know every school is not created equal when it comes to that.
Oh, definitely. It's not. But with New Mexico being the historical school that it is, we automatically get schools calling us way before preseason even starts, hey, who you got on your roster? Because they know that we have to uphold a certain type of standard. And we got to bring a certain type of caliber of kids in. And usually those kids are going to be young ladies who exhibit a high level of skill set. And so automatically it's not just us and us having our connections, but those young ladies or those coaches are going to reach out to us. And then it also helps having a head coach who has those connections. And my head coach, he was at Coastal Carolina, he was at Gulf Coast, he was at Seward, and throughout those years, I think this may be his 12th year of coaching. He's created some connections. And so, I always pride myself on the group of people who I know at different levels. But this is my 5th year in. I have a long way to go, but I have met some really good people. And within that, we're trying to get these young ladies to the best place for them. Hey, what's your ideal school? If it's realistic, all right, we'll go ahead and reach out to them for you. And we don't have a problem doing that. I mean, if you got a goal and your skill set fits that school that you wanted to go to, why not? Let's work towards it.
So is it just you and the head coach, or is it you, the head, or is it recruiting coordinator? How is New Mexico set up?
Oh no, it's just us two. And we do really well with it being just us two. We're able to handle most of the day to day, and then of course getting into practice. I think that it would be a lot tougher if it was just one, and it would probably be easy, or not easier, but it would be better if there were more. But being at the JUCO level, it's not unknown for it to just be two coaches, and you got to make do with what you got. You know what I mean? And I think that throughout my places that I've been, I've developed a good skill set of things to be able to do, whether it be on the court or off the court and in the office. And my head coach is the same way. So we're able to basically, if it's something that he could do, I'm pretty sure I could do it as well. And it's something that I could do, I'm pretty sure he could do it as well. We're able to kind of bounce off of each other like that.
Okay, good. So tell me about your conference, because I know that conference is loaded. That's one of the best conferences in the country, right?
Right. It's one of the best conferences in the country. And that's another reason why we get a lot of higher level coaches looking to recruit over in this area, not just for our program, but for our conference. We have another powerhouse, usually top ranked, South Plains. We have Odessa, who's not playing this year as well. They have a new coach down there who I know he's going to come into the conference and make some noise. Q. And we have Midland, which they usually have a very, very good offensive squad, body size. Their team is usually pretty loaded. And then we have Clarendon, we have Frank Phillips. These are both two schools that, they're not known as one of the top teams or two of the top teams, but you catch them on a good day, they're going to give you some hectic,
Okay.
And so, but being connected to Texas itself and all of the JUCOs that are in Texas, you're going to find some high competition, so we have this side of Region 5. We also have another side of Region 5 where you find, Collins and Grayson, and those are both two good schools as well. And so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where you start finding a lot of the telltale on what level you should be playing at. Because if you get here and you're not doing so well, that's not gonna just tell us something, but it's got to be a little little light bulb that comes on that lets you know, like, okay, I got to get in the gym a whole lot more than what I thought, or maybe where whatever schools that I'm thinking I want to play at, maybe I need to reevaluate.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I know this could be tough as well. Do you get kids that sometimes come and, like you said, are maybe this is too much for them, like from an athletic standpoint? And that's no knock, because of course that's no knock against your recruitment, but some kids might think, hey, I really thought I was the one, but you get to New Mexico JC, which is a top program, and they quickly realize, whoa.
And I don't take it as a knock against coaching at all, because I think that mostly any coach who has been in it for however long that they have has come across a situation like that where they've recruited a kid who they thought, fit their program perfectly. And, us coaches, we make mistakes as well. It's not just always the young ladies or the young men choosing schools that might not fit them. They're trying to seek to be recruited, and we are trying to recruit. And sometimes there's going to be, a misunderstanding of what is expected or what is needed at that level. And sometimes, as I mentioned, us coaches make mistakes too. But yeah, I mean, of course, with this being my first year here at New Mexico, I haven't been in a situation like that quite yet. The team that we had this year that obviously is not being able to play right now, we were going to be pretty good. I think that every young lady on the program had a good chance. We had a good sophomore class who, they have opportunities and would have had some really good additional opportunities had we been able to be on the floor. And those young ladies are still, the ones who are unsigned, they're still looking to get their looks right now. We're talking to coaches for them. And then our freshmen, same thing. Sometimes those freshmen come in and it might be a little bit hard of a transition, but as we were going and getting deep into November, things were starting to fall into place. And that's usually the time around where you want to kind of see that improvement happening. And so, yeah, I haven't been in a position like that here. Some of my other schools, yeah, you'll pick up a kid and it may not be the best fit skill-wise, or just program-wise or system-wise. You know what I mean? You might have a post player who does tremendous in a high-low type of offensive set, but we run a 4-out 1-in,
Yeah.
3-5, and so it just might not work. It might not expose her true skill set.
Exactly. Okay. The next thing, so study hall and academics, how does it work there at New Mexico JC?
Well, first things first, academics are a high priority, not just for myself, but I will also hope that the young ladies that I'm recruiting have that as well. And we tend to try to look for that. It doesn't always happen, but we tend to try to look for that. But as far as study hall, it's always funny. We tell the girls that we're recruiting, we have study hall every day, Monday through Thursday. So not every day, but Monday through Thursday. And if you ain't get your homework done, whatever's due Sunday night, you don't have it done by Sunday at 12, you'll be in there Sunday night as well.
Wow.
And so, that's just kind of constant. We make sure we get them in there. And academics have to stay up. One, you got to be eligible. We don't want to be, what I call it is wasting a scholarship. If you're here, you're going to get both done. It's not just basketball. We got to be able to make sure that you're eligible to compete when season comes around. And you're doing that not just for us to make us happy, but you're doing that for yourself. You're doing that for your teammates. And it just starts building a good habit of, wherever you say that you want to play at, 9 times out of 10, New Mexico is going to be the least of your time constraint or your difficulty in class. And so if you can't get it done here, it's not looking too good for you to be able to move on somewhere and feel like you're going to be successful, because, I mean, we have a pretty good staffed to where if you go in, you introduce yourself. We always tell our young ladies, sit in the first 3 rows of the classroom. Make sure let them know that you're an athlete, but not just the athlete that they might assume that you are, an athlete who's not going to get their work done. Prove them wrong, because some professors, they have this aura of that athletes, create a bad platform for academics, and it's not always that. So, we say prove them wrong, ask for help when you need help. Coach Mefford, he's the math guy. If you need help with some math, if you ask me and I don't know, I'm pretty sure he knows, and then everything else I'll be able to help you out with.
Gotcha. Okay. And I always like to end any type of interviews I have. I like to almost take it as just listening to your pitch.
Uh-huh.
If I'm a top tier female athlete, why NMJC? Why?
Oh man, besides everything that I just listed, we got some new juice that we could add. I mean, we just finished with a $15 million renovation to our facility.
Wow. Okay.
So, that's big time, especially being JUCO, but it's not all about that. But if you come to New Mexico, you can guarantee that you'll be in a place where you'll succeed academically as long as you put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
You'll succeed on the court as long as you put the work in, and you'll be able to move to the next school that you want to go to as long as you put the work in. And so I say that as long as you put the work in, because we're not going to guarantee, and not going to make any promises, because you can get here and things could change. But if you're doing for yourself, we definitely going to be the one to help push you forward to wherever you're trying to get to.
Nice. I like that. And then I think the good touch on this is, I think it's ironic that you were an alumni and you came back, because that lets, that's another thing people could touch on, like you lived it.
Yeah, definitely. And I try not to preach too much to my young ladies, but I let them know I did. I did live it, and it wasn't always easy. Coach Sanders was a tough coach. And, and a lot of people, the ones who know, and the ones who don't, it was tough. But I could also say, and I always say this, and people truly don't believe me, but leaving California and coming and taking this opportunity at New Mexico Junior College was one of the best decisions that I made for myself as a young lady. Because if I never came here, I don't know where I would be. You know what I mean? I don't think I would have ended up at Murray State. And from there, I don't think I would have had the opportunities that I had to meet people who I met and be here today.
Okay, good. I mean, like I said, that's just a prime example. And, it's always, for me, it's after basketball as well. That's the biggest thing. And you taking that and parlayed that into a coaching position. Now, some people take different avenues, but, coaching is always there for people, and it's not the end of the world. Like, some people think that they can't play anymore, like their life is over. And I'm like, no, you move on to the next avenue, that this basketball is open for you, and you parlay that into a great position. And from what I see, you will definitely be one of the next up and coming coaches. I mean, I always got to congratulate you on, the job you're doing as well there. So definitely keep up the good work. And this will not be the last time you're on the show. I appreciate your time. And next year we will be keeping up with New Mexico Junior College to see what they do.
We got some things up our sleeves, but I definitely appreciate it, David. I'm glad that we were able to have this talk. And I'll be glad to come back to talk some more basketball with you.
Always. If we don't see you here, we'll see you next year at the Final Four. You already know.
Of course. Right. As soon as they open it up. Thank you, David.
Anytime. You take care. And like I said, I'll definitely be in touch. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Bye-bye. Definitely. That's Coach Lee right there. Definitely one of the up and coming coaches. Tremendous coach. And when I say a tremendous coach, she has a lot of potential with her. And I just look at that like, it's a blessing for her to come on to the show. I always tell people from a perspective of, a lot of people don't pay women's junior college any attention. And it's an awesome experience to see. Like, I've got to experience it a number of times. And, people always think of JUCO, you only think of men. That's so not the case. It is so not the case. And, one of the things about this podcast was for people to understand the importance of education. And I'm not talking education from just books. A lot of people always think of, even from a women's basketball perspective, like, oh, I've never known that. And I'm like, man, the women get down just like the guys do from JUCO, and even post grads are up and coming now. And I thought this platform was a great way to show people to understand, listen, not only is basketball universal, but it's also an avenue for women and men. And I'm, as you all know, I'm a big fan of women's basketball and men's basketball, and I think this women should get their fair shake. And I just appreciate her coming on the show, because I just wanted to show another avenue besides having, of course, I have D1s, D2, and D3 women's coaches on, and AI coaches as well. But I thought, when I met Coach Lee, I was like, man, I want you to come on the show because you bring a different perspective that even a lot of young ladies don't even pay attention to. And I thought, hey, by all means, come on the show, talk your stuff, and definitely represent your program by all means. So we're going to go with our next guest, which is Coach Pierce. He's from Southwest Ohio Prep. Coach Pierce, how you doing, man?
Doing well.
What's
How
going on,
about
brother?
yourself? Can't call it, man. Just real excited and happy to finally be able to be on the program tonight. And it's just, I love what you got going on, man. Giving everyone a platform to talk and communicate and to speak and to just grow from each other, learning things from each other, finding out different philosophies and just different perspectives on the game. So I'm really excited to be here, man. I thank you.
Definitely. And with me coming live from Lexington, I'm gonna slide up there to Cincinnati, man. You already know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'll definitely get down to the Natty. That's my hometown. I live in Springfield now, which sits in between Columbus and Dayton.
Gotcha.
But we kind of consider, I guess we fall into more of the Dayton, Ohio range. But Cincinnati's my town. Went to school in Cincinnati and grew up there for the most part. And I go back because I still have family there. So we definitely gonna get together, man.
Oh, no question. You're too close not to, man. Too close not to. So, man, I brought you on, man, because I'm big on the post grad segment, man. And you were having a Southwest Ohio Prep. I wanted to introduce everybody, that watches the podcast to your program, man. Tell me some more about Southwest Ohio Prep, man.
Well, we are a postgraduate program. This was our first year in operation this year. Unfortunately, we had to kind of shut down a little bit earlier than anticipated due to the pandemic. Some COVID issues we were concerned about. And, one of the biggest things is we said, no matter what, we're in the interest of what's best for the young men in our program. And we felt it best that we keep everyone safe, just cut and dry. We had to shut down a little bit early, but, fortunate for us, we played a lot more games and done a lot more things than a lot of other programs have been able to. So, we've been blessed and fortunate to be in that situation. Like I said, we're located here in Springfield, Ohio. If you kind of need to get a kind of sense of the area, I can get to the University of Dayton in about 30 minutes. I can get to Ohio State's campus in about 50 minutes. I'm also located maybe 20 minutes away from Wright State University, which is another Division I program here in Ohio. We're really centrally located. One of the big perks that I tell people about our program is we're in a small town that puts a premium on good basketball.
Gotcha.
Springfield has a rich tradition of basketball that dates back long before I was born. Some of the names, Randy Ayers, that always sticks out to me. Randy Ayers being a Springfield High graduate, but also Springfield is known for another thing. Springfield also is the hometown of John Legend. So
I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah, man. So it's funny, people always say you never know. Back in the day on the south side of town, you would see him chopping in Kroger's with his mother. Just on a Sunday. You just turn your head and there he is. So, that's part of the thing about our town is we're small. So that makes you concentrate more on what it is you're here for, which is basketball. Also, we offer academic assistance, whether that be ACT, SAT test prep, or if you need to retake courses to kind of boost your chances in terms of NCAA eligibility, we can help you with that as well through our partnerships with Education Solutions. We're really set up nice. We're a lot better off than some others, and that's not to throw anyone under the bus. It's just, hey, some people would like to have our situation just as we would like to have other people's situation. So, we have things going right now. We got our name out there. We've done some things. We've been able to play. We put ourselves out there on the map a little bit. So, we're looking forward to our next year coming up, and hopefully, good Lord takes away a lot of the stress of the pandemic and gives us a clean slate to operate on, and we'll be able to get out there even more.
So, thing and that a lot of people don't know is, the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, that whole corridor has a number of pretty good post grads.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's amazing how people oftentimes think that I need to go to the NIPSAC to get in a good prep situation. It's not necessarily the case. The NIPSAC, by far, yes, those guys, they're on their own playing field. But there's places in our area. You have us here in Springfield, Ohio, ISA, which is located up in the Cleveland area, Spire Academy, which is kind of nationally known right now. They're on a different playing field because of their situation that they have going on. But they're here. Indiana, Elevation Prep. I always mess up the pronunciation of La Lemure and places like that. Don Prep in Cincinnati. I mean, I can't speak enough about Don Prep. I'm a Cincinnati guy. I know ultimately they're going to be someone we're in competition with constantly, but they do an amazing job. So there's plenty of good situations in our region to where guys in our region, unless they truly feel they want to experience something completely different, you can stay close to home and be relevant and play good ball, get good exposure, and move on. Just in our region, prime example, us. I tell people all the time, just us here in Springfield, I have Wittenberg University, which is one of the best NCAA Division III programs in basketball history in terms of basketball. They're literally right across the street from our team house. I could take a baseball and throw it on their campus. We have Wilberforce University, NAIA program, historically Black college university, literally a half hour away from us. Like I said before, University of Dayton, Wright State, a number of good junior colleges, Sinclair Community College, right here in Springfield, Clark State Community College, Central State University, historically Black HBCU, right there, right across the street from Wilberforce, NCAA Division II. We got so many good programs just in our area. If I think I totaled it up to maybe 45 Division I programs within a 3.5, 4 hour radius of us, which is like, when you think of it, that's huge because coaches could come see you practice, see you work out, see you play, and still be able to get back to where they need to be for the night. They get back home and don't have to spend money on a hotel. I tell kids all the time, that's big because that eats into recruiting budgets.
Yes.
Coaches would rather spend $25, $35, $40 on gas to travel to come see you, come see you and go home, versus having to spend an additional $120 on a hotel room for the night. So really just a good situation in this whole Midwest region, man. It's great basketball play.
And with me being from Pittsburgh, we've talked plenty of times. I know all about Ohio, and I went to school in Ohio as well. So, there's some great basketball in Ohio all the way around. And my roommate was from Dayton, so both my roommates were. So yeah, they went to Jefferson.
Oh, Dayton Jefferson.
Yeah, they went to Dayton Jefferson.
Yeah.
So
there.
Yeah, I'm very, very well familiar, and I had a bunch of friends from Columbus, Cincinnati, that whole area. So the basketball there is definitely top notch. So there's no question about that. And so, just speaking on your program for next year, what do you have planned for Southwest Ohio Prep next year?
Well, one of the things that we really want to do is, the pandemic really slowed a lot of the things that we had planned for this year's team, in terms of community outreach, community service. We wanted to do a lot of mentoring and things like that with the youth in our city here through our program. Mm-hmm. And because of the pandemic, we just could not risk it. And that was unfortunate. But next year we're going to be looking and doing a kind of a situation where we do a work play program where we partner with some local businesses to get these young men some work experience, those who are academically ready, things like that. That's one of the things that we're in talks with some of our local businesses about doing. College readiness. We want to take guys on college tours and teach them how to properly fill out a college application. Help them understand and navigate through the FAFSA. Something that they can do for themselves that not necessarily they got to have mom and dad sit down and dedicate a whole evening to. Hey, you should know how to fill out a FAFSA. At least doing your part. So that way all mom or dad has to do is come in, make a couple clicks of a button, and then it's over with. So also we want to help guys research scholarships. One of the biggest misconceptions is, hey, just because the NCAA says I need to have a 2.3 GPA and a 17, 18 ACT score, I can get a scholarship. That ain't necessarily true, brother. Mm-hmm. What you got to understand is, and a lot of our kids don't understand this, is that you still have to be admitted to that college or that university. Exactly. So your transcripts is going to tell a lot. So, we want to make sure that these guys understand that. And some guys, let's just be honest, not everybody's going to get an athletic scholarship, right? But you may get the opportunity to play basketball in college, right? So how are you going to pay for your education? So just because you were counting on a ball to get you to that, and it may get you some money, but it may not, how are you going to pay for that education? Well, that's where researching scholarships, applying for scholarships, being able to properly communicate, with people to kind of interview for scholarships is what we're going to work with our guys on. And lastly, one of the biggest things that we're trying to input is a financial literacy component to what we do. Yeah. And, pandemic slowed it down just because a lot of our partners were like, well, we can't really go out right now and do certain things. So that put a damper on it. But, one of the biggest plagues, in our community right now is financial literacy, understanding what credit is, understanding the value of a dollar, understanding how to budget, and it is not a knock on anybody, because heck, I still struggle with certain stuff myself, and I get educated daily on these things. So if we can, the way I look at it is, if we can kind of help these younger generations right now understanding how to be more responsible financially at an early age, they'll be fine set up later on in life. So those are some of the things we're looking to do, man.
And you know what, man, and you're bringing a different perspective, and I commend you for that because a lot of times, of course, you're going to post grad to get better, but you're the first one that has come on this show and said you brought some different ideas like the work play program, the financial literacy part. Everybody gives you the general, okay, you're here to get your grades. We're here to get you better, faster, stronger. And then we send you on about your way. You've just given pretty much a different life perspective to say, hey, when this ball stops bouncing, these are some things we want to make sure we instilled in you from a class perspective. And hats off to you on that, man. That's a good look. That's definitely a good look.
Thank you, man.
Man, anytime. I mean, man, you got to give credit where credit is due. And, like I said, I totally get what you being in your first year. You're building your program. I get that. You got to travel some. You got to get these kids exposure. And that's all going to come in time. Like I said, Rome wasn't built overnight, man. And what you're doing right there, man, I think you're on to something, definitely, because it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference off the court and on the court. And that's the biggest thing. That Absolutely. Is the biggest thing. And so what you had this year, are you looking more from an exposure piece when you play, you set your schedule up? What are you looking for your post-grad kids?
Well, a number of things. One, definitely exposure. We want to be able to play against the best competition possible. So that way our kids feel like, hey, they got something out of it. Just sitting around playing, Sister Margaret of the Blind Post-Grad Academy isn't going to benefit Southwest Ohio Prep as well as anyone affiliated with it. But going to Hargrave and playing against Hargrave and actually competing and making them work and even, beating them, or even if we take it on the chin, that experience alone is worth it. All it takes is for one kid to have one good game at the right time, and that puts them on the map. So we look for, exposure. We also have a saying, does it make sense to play them? Does it make sense to play them? And it's like, okay, can we financially get there? If we can get there financially, we're going to go play. I'm kind of old school, Nolan Richardson style. Anytime, any place, just let us know. If we can get there, we're going to play the game.
Okay.
Also, our guys, let's be honest, in the day and age that we live in, these kids are so technology savvy, it's crazy. So they see all these guys going to these different places. And if they're any type of competitor, which I truly hope that they are, they want to say to themselves, I want to play him just because I want to see what I could do against him. I want to see if I could stop him. I want that because me as a coach, I always want to coach against the best. I want to see where I stack up. I want to see where my coaching staff stacks up versus everyone else. And I want to see where my philosophy stacks up versus someone else's. And if I get my butt whooped, I get my butt whooped. But you're gonna know I was in there. I'm not gonna just go out, like a punk. We're gonna compete, and we're gonna go to the final, to the final buzzer. So, we look at things like that in terms of our schedule, So unfortunately, man, the pandemic did a lot to us schedule-wise, which it did to everyone. We had Putnam, we had Woodstock on the schedule. Who else do we have? I'm looking at it right now. Link Year, Mount Zion, Hargrave. We had we had guys on the schedule. We even was able to play the Skill Factory Global team. So we had good competition schedule. Pandemic messed things up. One of the things that we said we wanted to do was make sure we weren't the ones canceling the game. As long as everyone was healthy and we were financially able to make our event, we were going. And for the most part, we were able to do that up until about the last month, where we kind of felt like, hey, listen, basketball is one thing, but the health is the main priority of the young men in our program. We say that these mothers and these fathers, they send their kids to us, they entrust us to make the right decisions for their kids while they're with us. You know, we try to tell the parents, hey, listen, they're not kids anymore, they're young men. So we have to kind of, we're going to treat them as young men. You have to start treating them and transitioning them into young adulthood. So we try our best not to use the term kids as opposed to young men. Um, and we made decisions for these young men that we felt was in the best interest of everyone. Health is the main priority, and that's what we did. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to play Link Year. We didn't get to play Mount Zion. We had issues with trying to get a game scheduled with Hargrave. Every time they wanted to play us, we were going somewhere else. And, big thing was honoring our commitments. If we said we were going to go play somebody, we went and played them, even if it meant us not being able to play Hargrave or Mount Zion or, anyone else. So, that's how it went, man. And that's what we look for. If it makes sense, the best possible games possible, but at the same time, if you got a ball and you got a gym and refs, we're gonna show up and we're gonna play.
Okay, got you. Man, and I appreciate you coming on. I always like to end this. It's kind of my moniker. Why Southwest Ohio Prep? What's going to make you guys stand out from any other post grad that is recruiting another prospect?
My answer to that is, why not Southwest Ohio Prep? Oftentimes we get, as a society, we get comfortable just thinking, well, this over here has always done this, that, and this. So we know what we're going to get over here. But what's wrong with, kind of going to the right sometimes as opposed to always going left? Go to the right sometimes and blaze your own path. With us being a new program, we need to have someone step up and be the face of this program. We need to have somebody step up and be the guy that goes to the big time D1. We need a guy to go to Xavier, Cincinnati, Ohio State, Michigan State, Michigan. We need somebody to step in and do that. So, you come to us, we're going to bust our tail to get you where you want to be, right? As long as you do your job, though. We say that our program is 3 parts. It's 3 parts. Coaches coach, players play, parents support. When we have all 3 of those working together in unison, everything's going to take care of itself. So coming to us, you're going to get skill development. Coach Joe Hampton, one of my assistants, he's outstanding in skill development. You're going to be able to run a college level offense. Coach Matt Yinger, who's our assistant, we run an offense that was responsible for Steph Curry being who Steph Curry was in college. And University of Tennessee is running it right now. And we run that, right? And so defensively, I grew up with Bob Huggins. So I'm studying everything West Virginia defensively. So when you come to us, you're going to get taught college concepts. You're going to get taught college level development. But at the same time, you also going to gain some things that you may not gain anywhere else. Is our situation the same as Spire? Absolutely not. Is our situation the same as Mount Zion? Absolutely not. But when you come here, you're going to get coaches who grind. And if you like coaches who grind and work for you as an individual, then you should want to come here. You should want to be a part of that. You should want to be a part of something different. Our program also is a faith-based program. I didn't get to really talk much about that, but we're a faith-based program. So we try to do things the way that Christ wants us to do it. People ask me all these questions. I always say, hey, it ain't about Coach Rod Pierce. I'm just the person God's using to deliver what he wants to deliver, right? And I try to stay out the way. And when I start putting more of Rod Pierce into it, I have people who tell me you need to take a step back. And that's beautiful because it keeps the focus on what the program is meant to do and what it's meant for. You know, not one coach this year got paid for this, not even me. You know, not one coach. We did all our travel and everything. Not one coach received a paycheck for this. We're a true nonprofit organization. Not one of us got paid, not one. And we still was able to do it because we're here for kids, for young men. And when I say we're here for kids, we're here for the kids in this community. We want to show a different light. We want people around us to see that you don't have to necessarily accept what is given to you right now. You can do something different. So if you're a kid listening to this in Texas and you want to do something different, contact us. We'll talk. I talk to everyone. Our coaches, we talk to everyone, you know. So it's not necessarily that we're the greatest thing in the world, because we're not. We're building, like you said, Rome wasn't built in a day. Right now, I'm just trying to become a simple village, right? I just want to be a village. And then from that village, we'll grow into a town. From that town, we'll turn into a city. From that city, we'll turn into a state. And with the good Lord willing, we'll turn into a nation. You know, and that's what we want, building blocks. So if you are a grinder, you like to grind, you like it the hard way a little bit, and you're not soft up here in the head, you're not weak, come talk to us, because you're the type of kid that we like. You're the type of person that'll come here and be successful because you grind. You like the hard situation. So that's why you should come to us, because you're going to grind here. You're going to grind. You're not going to be catered to. We're not going to coddle you. You're going to be treated as a young man. And if you don't want to be treated as a young man, stay where you are. But if you want that respect and you want to show to everybody and show to yourself that you can earn it, come talk to us. Okay. We're right here.
Okay. Hey, I like that. Hey, that was original. To be honest, that was one of the best pitch that I've heard so far. And we've been doing this since November. That was one of the best pitch, man. I'll give you credit on that one.
Thanks, bro. I made it up on the spot.
Hey, man, listen, man, I appreciate you for coming on the show. As you know, we've been trying to make this happen for the past month and a half.
About a month and a half, yeah, man.
Yeah, and we finally made it happen, man. And, man, I appreciate you, man. And, you definitely know this won't be the last time we stay in contact, man, because I'm following Southwest Ohio Prep, and, man, I definitely want to see you guys prosper, man. Man, and definitely appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Hey, man, it was an absolute pleasure to be here. I love what you're doing. And I'm telling you, man, you just keep doing what you're doing in all phases, not just the show. We talk about everything else, not just the show, man. You keep doing what you're doing. And the beautiful thing is, you're doing it the right way. You're doing it the right way, man. You got it in ordered steps, and, man, God's going to take care of you for that. He's going to bless you and bless everything that you're doing, because you're doing it the right way. You're putting people ahead of profit, and that's when you're going to be successful. That's another concept here, brother.
And that's a good one too, man. I definitely appreciate you, man. I take that to heart anytime, man, because a lot of times people don't understand the grind that it takes to get it, but you definitely understand that, man.
For sure, man. It's a grind, and if you're not willing to grind, what are you willing to do? Not everything in life is going to be handed to you, so you gotta grind, man. You gotta grind, and that's what you're doing, baby. That's what you're doing.
No question, man. Grinders understand each other. You know what I mean? Definitely understand, man. Definitely.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Hey, man, like I said, man, with me being 2 hours away, man, we definitely are going to catch up while I'm up here, man. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure, man. We'll talk out off screen.
Oh, definitely, man. Man, you take care, man. Man, this is Coach Pierce, man. Definitely one of the up-and-coming post-grad coaches, kids. Check him out. How can they reach you on Twitter, man?
So you can follow me on Twitter at Southwest. Well, it's at SW_Ohio Prep. So it stands for Southwest_Ohio Prep. We're on Instagram as well. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook as well. Check us out on our website. We'll be doing some updates to the website here within the next day or two, but that is www.sw for Southwest, OH, abbreviation for the state of Ohio, prepacademy.com. And
Okay.
my actual, there's a phone number on there if you ever want to reach out. That number is my personal cell phone number. I respond to any and everyone who sends me a message. I always advise you to text me. If you call me first, I might be in the middle of something and won't respond. But if you text me, I will get back to you and we'll start a dialogue from there. So, we're real personal here. We make it personal. We're about building relationships. So you want to get at me, I'm always available.
Hey, man. And look, I can speak on that, man. As much as we've spoken in the past year and text back and forth, he is definitely available. Definitely.
I'll be at work in the middle of some stuff at work.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I know, man. Trust me. Hey, man, it's been a pleasure, man. And like I said, man, bless everything you're doing, man. I'm looking forward to see what next year brings, man. Definitely. Definitely got some things in store.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, God bless you, man. Be safe. Hey, get at me. We're going to get up, man. Too close not to see each other.
Definitely, man. You take it easy, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yes, sir. Salute.
All right.
God bless you
Pierce,
all.
definitely one of the up-and-coming post-grad coaches. Definitely a pleasure to talk to him. Our last guest for the night, and again, I always say this, I'm always big on all levels. And when I first met Coach Rubenstein, I thought, man, this is a guy I definitely want to have on the show because it's a D3, and it's a D3 that's of high academic standard. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. David, I appreciate you having me on. I'll tell you what,
anytime.
After listening to Coach Pierce, I'm ready to suit up for Southwest Ohio, man.
Definitely a good guy. Hey, and to be honest, one of the things about this platform that I'm also big on as well, I think you two should definitely connect offline, definitely, because he has kids that would definitely fit what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I was actually planning on reaching out to him afterwards. So.
Oh, good. And that's what this is all about. This is just about bridging the gap, giving kids an opportunity. And hey, if coaches connect, that's even better too. Definitely.
100%.
How you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm doing well. I'm glad I know we've been talking for a while. I'm glad we've been able to, finally able to do this thing and have a conversation. So.
Definitely. So are you guys playing this year or not?
Yeah, so we are not competing. We're fortunate enough to still be able to practice 4 times a week. We were fortunate enough back in the fall and also in the spring. So no competition in terms of other schools, but we've been able to play, break down 3-on-3, 4-on-4 stuff during the week, and then individual improvement, and then also getting in the weight room. So it's been great for our guys from that social standpoint to be together, right? Like being off the court. And for our freshmen, our younger guys to kind of get acclimated to the program and some of these standards. And so by the time, hopefully with next year, hopefully being a little bit more normal, it's not as much of a teaching as it is a more kind of catching up.
So let me ask this. So will next year possibly pose a problem because you'll have your seniors coming back? So you're kind of low on scholarships, right?
Yeah, no. So we're fortunate enough. We had 4 seniors going into this year, and all 4 are coming back for grad school next year. We knew that going into the year, so that kind of impacted how we looked at our class of 21 class. So instead of bringing in 4 to 5 guys, we're only bringing in. We got 2 guys in the early decision period back in the fall that we're really excited about. So yeah, it impacted us a little bit in terms of the recruiting, but we're still fortunate enough because all 4 of those guys have been major parts of our success over the last couple of years, and they're going to be huge parts of our success next year as well.
Great. And so, I'm not going to say I misspoke, but as we all know, Division IIIs don't give athletic scholarships. Can you further expand on how you get your kids into Brandeis?
Yeah, so it's a combination of things, and it's all dependent on the fit of the student athlete and what they're looking for at that college level. From a financial aid standpoint and from an academic standpoint, those are really the two unique things when it comes to non-basketball stuff. First off, for us, with us being a top 40 institution in the country, it's that academic piece in evaluating both from a transcript and from a test score standpoint of if they are a Brandeis level student. Once we get past that, it's really communicating with the family and figuring out from a financial aid standpoint if this is something that works for them. Almost all of our students in our athletic department and on our team specifically get some sort of financial aid package. It's a need-based financial aid program at Brandeis, much like a lot of other schools in our league in New England. So it's all depending on what the family, their situation. So that's one of the things I tell parents and kids all the time. I hate that it's part of the decision-making process, but it ends up being a huge part for our level. So once we get kind of past that academic standpoint and the baseline level of talent standpoint on the court, that's really the third thing we bring up, because we obviously don't want to waste our time in terms of going down a road with a family that might not be able to handle it, but we also don't want to waste the family's time too. If it's something that might not work for them and for their, son, then we want to get, ahead of that prior to it being an issue down the road.
Okay. So now, with you being a top 40 institution, what will it take to get accepted there?
Yeah, so it's definitely case by case. It's kind of a combination between your transcripts and your test scores. The baseline test score, I would say, for us is a 1300 as the floor. But like I said, it kind of fluctuates depending on your transcript. If you go to a really elite high school and you have an amazing GPA, then we might be able, that SAT score, ACT score might be able to dip a little bit lower. It's also on the same, other side of the coin. If they have a high SAT score, but their GPA isn't as good, that might make it a little bit tougher. So it's really the balance between the two. And we're fortunate enough at Brandeis, even in a non-COVID year, we're able to go test optional. So if certain kids don't test very well, so it's a huge help for us when kids don't test very well. We're able to submit a graded paper, whether it's an English paper, history paper, whatever it is, to kind of substitute that. Ends up being a big help, because it happens a lot where kids, they have, a 3.9 or 4.0, but they just don't test well. Or maybe they do test well, but because Brandeis' scores are kind of so high, it makes more sense to submit a graded paper. Okay.
Now, and you just brought up a great point. So you guys are test optional, but in your opinion, you think it would still be best to go ahead and take the test just to be on the safe side, right?
100%. Yeah. And every school is different. And I definitely think it makes the most sense. Whether, some kids take both the ACT and the SAT. There's no, real preference to either of them. I think definitely taking one at least gives you more options, because if you do have a great score, it just opens up more doors for you, whether it's not at Brandeis, whether it's at other programs too, at multiple levels. So yeah, I would definitely say, even if schools are test optional, definitely go and, prepare to take one of those tests.
So, and this leads into my next question. With you being over there on the East Coast, I would have to assume you guys take some of those prep NetSAC kids, right?
Yeah, so that's a huge priority for us every year, just because they are so local. We're able to go and see those open gyms 3-4 times a week in a normal fall. We're able to go and see a lot of those guys, and myself and Coach Bain and Coach Tab and Coach Harrington all have a lot of really good relationships with coaches in that league. So that's a huge priority for us. And it's great because it's high level competitive prep school basketball, and a lot of those kids, because of the experience playing in that league, they come to college
ready,
a little bit more prepared than a kid coming from a public school. From an academic standpoint, in terms of how they balance their time off the court, but then also on the court too, with just in terms of their commitment with weight room and skill work and team practices and all that. So yeah, that's a huge benefit to being in New England, is having all those schools right around the corner for us.
Okay. Okay. So with you being, and I'm just going to continue because I mean, it is what it is. You guys are a high academic school. So when I graduate, and I'm sure this is a selling point as well, when I graduate from Brandeis, I'm sure you guys have a percentage rate of people that are finding a job within the first 6 months to a year, correct?
Yeah, no, that's a huge part of it, and that's a huge part of what we talk to our guys about, and then also obviously in the recruiting process is Brandeis giving you the opportunity to go off and pursue what you want to pursue, and we can't promise, we can't tell you what that exactly is going to be like, but we know that the academic experience and the experience being 10 minutes outside one of the best college cities in the country in Boston, Massachusetts, is you're going to have opportunities to take advantage of. And over the last couple of years, specifically within our program, this is Coach Bain and our staff's third year, and we've only had 3 guys graduate. All 3 guys are in high-level grad school programs right now. But then even dating back with our program and just the university as a whole, I think it's about 98, 99% of Brandeis grads either are in grad school or have a full-time position within 6 months of graduation. So that is a huge part of the experience. And like I was saying, you get out of it what you put into it. And ultimately Brandeis just provides that opportunity to go off, whatever it may be, to go off and pursue, what you want to pursue.
I'm sorry. I just want to repeat that. You said 98 to 99%.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a little homework prior to coming on, and that's what we're fortunate enough at Brandeis. We have a career center on campus, the Hyatt Career Center, which is a huge tool for all students on campus to take advantage of, whether it's connecting with internships throughout your 4 years or, ultimately with job placement as you get to your senior year. So they do a tremendous job with just being a resource for our student athletes and helping them kind of navigate that process. Because it is so tough, you don't know what you're doing really when you're going through it for the first time. And having Hyatt and the Career Center is a huge asset to our student athletes, and our student athletes, along with the rest of the students on campus, have obviously done a tremendous job of taking advantage of that.
Okay. And now I want to touch on that for a moment. And this is even besides basketball. So I'm assuming you guys probably have a nice number of paid internships for these guys by the time they're juniors, correct?
Yeah. And it's definitely individual depending on the kid and what they're studying. We've had one of our seniors this year from Chicago. Over the winter, he did an internship with an investment company right around the corner from campus, actually, and it was a paid internship so he stayed up here in the winter, 6 weeks, and we're fortunate enough too that Coach Harrington, one of our assistant coaches, who's part-time with us and full-time works in the financial district in Boston. So he's been in the era for forever now, and he's one of the best guys ever, and he does a really good job of helping our guys get connected with people in the industry. And he's gotten our guys, he got Austin an internship, and he just got one of our other seniors an internship for the summer. So that's a huge part. And to your point, with it being paid, that's always a benefit too.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, and take out even the paid part. The paid part is that's extra icing on the cake. But like you said, if you're graduating from a top 40 school, and for me, and I've harped on this from the time I've started this show in November, just what is so important when the ball stops to bounce. And that's why I have programs like yours come on here. That's why I have high academics. That's why I have schools that bring up stuff that these kids don't think about. And I want parents to see as well, to say, listen, this ball is not going to bounce forever. And what are they going to offer you outside of a large crowd and people screaming and maybe, making all conference? Like, let's take a small summary. And you said a 98 to 99% placement rate. You got guys getting internships in season. Now that's insane right there. That's just really insane. You're the first one I've heard that. And I've had Carnegie Mellon. I've had a number of high academics on the show. And during the season, I'm like, what? That's That's crazy.
This year, with it being a COVID year, obviously it was.
Well, sure, yeah.
If it was a normally, that probably wouldn't happen, but
yeah.
I mean, who knows? Our guy Austin is a intelligent guy. Maybe he can handle both. I don't know.
Yeah, but just what you guys bring to the table, and I basically what you're saying is what almost all the other D3s say. Like, yes, you have to understand there is a cost that comes with this education, and you understand that every family can't swing it. It's on a need base. It's need based, it's grade based, and it's scholarship based. I mean, because everybody's not going to get the academic money. So we understand that as well. But it's still, I think it's my duty to say, hey, it's still an option, because coming out of Brandeis is going to change your life.
Yeah.
It's going to change your life.
Really what we're about with our program, David, is that student experience throughout your 4 years, but then also giving you that experience where you're prepared to go off and I keep coming back to it, but going to pursue what you want to pursue. And we really feel like you can't put a price on that. And with the education and being right next to Boston, Massachusetts, and all that can offer, not only mentioning with the basketball program, like all of that mixed together creates a really special student experience, like I said, that you can really enjoy throughout your 4 years, but also you can grow both as a player and as a human being throughout your 4 years. So by the time you do graduate, you are in a better position to go off and get that job that you want and set up that career path that you want to go down.
Well, and then even more than that, like, it's what you guys have to offer to assist to help those kids and student prospects get to where they're trying to get. Like you said, you have a center right there to help those kids with looking for internships and looking for jobs. You said that's on campus, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, right on campus. Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is big time in itself. I mean, of course, I as selfish as this sounds, like, I haven't really even talked that much basketball. Yeah, unfortunately, you guys are down with COVID, but I mean, to me, that's the selling point right there. If it's my son, I'm like, hey, you need to consider that. And I think we need to get, as a basketball community, to the point where somebody's going to start to have to buck the trend to say, well, why didn't you go to this big time school? Well, I went here because they have my major. They're one of the top schools in the country. They're giving me a great basketball experience. Now, and here's the thing I always tell people as well, you still can go overseas from a Division III school. And, that's what people have to understand. So what is your long game and what is your goal? What is your end goal? And if Brandeis can check that off, why not?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what, so before I got to Brandeis last summer, I worked full time for a company called the Hoop Group.
Yes, I know the guys over at Hoop Group very well.
Full time for them for about a year and a half, and then prior to that, I was an intern for a couple summers. And one of the main things I learned through working for the Hoop Group is the value of every level and how much it's predicated on the fit of what works best for you.
Yes.
And that couldn't be more true for whether it's you had Coach Leon with junior college earlier, and whether it's Division III, Division II, Division I, NAIA, whatever it may be. It's about the fit and what makes the most sense for you and to your point, with your goals. And I think every level has its benefits, and it depends on what you and your family are looking for. And if you're looking to get an elite academic education and also play extremely high level basketball, then a school like Brandeis in the UAA is a great spot for that, because you're playing scholarship level players every single night, and you're flying around the country doing it. And there's been a track record of if you're good enough in the UAA, you're going to be able to go off and make some money playing basketball. They're going to be able to find you if you're good enough.
Exactly, man. Brian Petruzzi's my guy over at Hoop Group.
Oh,
Brian,
yeah. I love Brian. I was talking on the phone with him last week, actually.
Yeah, I talk to Brian probably about once a month or once every 2 months or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely a good guy. A good guy. And you just said something, man, and I'll probably end up cutting a snippet of it and putting it on when I just take certain snippets from the show.
Yeah.
People don't understand that you guys travel better than some Division I schools.
Yeah, it's David, it's really a unique experience. When I was a student manager at UMass in the Atlantic 10, I got a tremendous travel experience with that league.
Okay.
And to be honest, the travel that we do at Brandeis is almost as similar as that as it is to a major Division II or some of the Division I's at that lower level. And it's such a unique thing to have that balance of the student athlete experience being a high academic school with that mix of flying to Chicago, St. Louis, Atlanta, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and New York City and Rochester, all these spots. And
because you guys are UAA, right?
Say that again.
You guys are UAA conference, right?
Yeah. So we're flying by plane everywhere, and I tell guys all the time, it's just an added extension to that student athlete experience. You're getting an opportunity to go around and visit cities every single year that you might not have got a chance to do if you weren't a student athlete in our league, and that's why our program and the department as a whole, we're able to attract kids from all around the country because they're getting that national experience for the most part on some of the major cities in the East Coast and kind of dipping our toes into the Midwest a little bit. So yeah, I can't emphasize it enough. And I say it all the time. It's a Division III league, but it's a Division I experience. And it could be more true from both the competition and from the travel standpoint.
And man, I agree. And, I'm big on education because I hate to see kids after 4 years of that experience, quote unquote, and they don't have anything to show for it. You understand? And that's not to say that can't happen at a UAA, but it's just the opportunities that are afforded to you while you're there. And, I tell people all the time, listen, if you're at a low major at some of these Division I's, listen, everybody's path is different, but understand you're going to be on the bus and you're going to be on a bus traveling 8, 9, 10 hours.
Yeah.
So like I said, and people may think that about you guys, and they're like, no, that's not the case. Like you said, they're flying to Chicago, they're flying to Pittsburgh, they're flying to Atlanta, they're flying to St. Louis. And like I said, in first class, type of travel arrangements. So, like for us, when we took our AAU team, we take them on college visits. So we take them to Division I, Division II. And so when they started to see these things, they were like, hey, they're just as good as a Division I. And we're like, yeah, that's why we're bringing you here.
Yeah.
And it's just to break that stereotype. And this is another stereotype that needs to be broken.
Yeah, it's just, and I saw it so much working at the group and kind of dealing with different AU programs and families. And there's just a misconception of the Division III level. And I think the UAA is one of the few, many programs at the Division III level or conferences at the Division III level that really breaks that mold because it's unlike any of the in the country. And to your point, it's more so like a scholarship level league where
exactly. You just said it best. Yes.
You're playing some of the best players and best teams in the entire country. And that's something, that our guys really take pride in. And as a program, we take a lot of pride in because it's such a great opportunity every single night to compete with the best. And it's such a, classic saying, to be the best, you got to beat the best. But, in our league, if you're beating teams in our league, it's been apparent that you can beat anyone in the entire country. And that's really special to be a part of.
That's very true. Very true. And, man, I just think it's just so impressive. Like, the teams in the UAA, they all do a great job. And, the biggest thing about it is once the experience is over, almost every one of those schools have over a 95% placement rate, which is just insane. It's just really insane. And, Brandeis is no different. And like I said, you guys are in Boston, like, each UA school is, they have something special that they can share. And, I just really hope kids understand, especially with, 21. I mean, you just said it yourself, even from the UAA perspective, you guys took 2 kids early and you're done because your 4 seniors are coming back. People don't understand that that's not just the Division I level. And I'm like, guys, you got to understand, it's not just Division I. Division II seniors are coming back. Division III seniors are coming back. So they don't have as many opportunities this year. And so for some of those other people that have, but the transfer portal is insane. It's like almost at 1,800 now. And I'm like, you guys that are 2021, you can't be sitting back saying, oh, I'm waiting for the best opportunity to come in June or July. You will be home or you will be at a JUCO.
Yeah, yeah, it goes back to just the fit and the overall experience. And the way we like to put it is, the student athlete experience boils to the three main A's with your atmosphere, your academics, and your athletics. And I think so many times people just hone in on that last A, being the athletics. And I think it's so important to look at all three when you're evaluating for your college fit.
Definitely.
And especially with this year, because to your point, it's a trickle down effect, right? From the Division I level all the way up to Division III, like there's just not as many spots, and I think that's gonna trickle down over the next couple of years as well, just with the way rosters are shaping out and what these students decide to do. So yeah, I think students and families have to be really conscious of looking at all three A's when they're evaluating their options in terms of going to school. It's not just about, like you said, it's not just about hoops. It's about the experience and from an atmosphere and from an academic standpoint as well.
I have two more questions for you. One question is, so even if you do offer, right, that offer is pending acceptance from the school, correct?
Yeah, so we try to do our homework early in terms of combining and partnering up with our admissions department, where we submit a student athlete's academic information just to get a read on where they kind of level up in terms of if they are an admittable student or not. So we'll do that early enough where we know before we approach a family and a kid and say, hey, we want you to come to like Brandeis, this is your spot until, you tell us you don't want to come or you do want to come. We know going into that, because we partner with our admissions department, just to know if they're an admittable student or not, because we want to avoid those situations. It hasn't happened in my time here, but we want to avoid those situations where a kid does commit and then they don't end up getting in. And so I think just doing that early enough, and our admissions department is great to work with, and they do a really nice job of communicating with us on that. So it makes it easy on our end, but just doing that stuff early and getting that information in. So we know, and then also the player knows, okay, I can get into this school, and then we can kind of move forward from there.
Got you. Hey, man, awesome interview, man. You did awesome, man.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate you talking, man. It was fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate you. I usually come up there. So the last time I was there, I know the guys over at Winston. I know the guys at Keene State. So the next time I come, man, I will stop by, man. I definitely want to see what the campus looks like, man. Definitely.
We do. Yeah, 100%.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. And I want to keep just fostering this relationship with the high academic D3. So again, I will be bringing you guys back on, because even when the season kicks back up in next year, I don't want this to be forgotten, that how important, this is for, certain kids. I mean, because some kids, some of them are great basketball players, but they're better students. And this makes more sense for them to say, hey, go here instead of trying to go to, let's see. And it's no knock on any program to maybe a lower tier D1, be like, man, you can go here and eat, and you're getting a great education. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. No,
until we change that, we just got to keep pushing the envelope on it,
And I'll echo what Coach Pierce was saying with what you're doing in terms of your stuff online. I've obviously getting to know you the last couple of months, but I think what you're doing is awesome, and I think it'll continue to grow too. So yeah, anytime you need anything from me and looking to chat at all, you obviously how to get in touch with me. So I'm looking forward to staying in touch. And like I said, I appreciate everything you're doing.
Definitely, man. It was a pleasure to talk to you, man. Trust me, we'll be in touch soon, because there's some coaches that already want to talk to you already. So
sounds
definitely,
good.
Man.
Sounds good, dude.
Definitely, man. You take care, man. Okay.
Same to you. Have a good rest of your night.
All right. Bye-bye. That's it. That was Coach Rubenstein. Definitely one of the up-and-coming coaches at Brandeis. I can't say it enough. Please pay attention to any D3 or when they say UAA, please pay attention. That is a pristine league, and if you don't at least give it the time of day, I'm sorry, you're missing out. I won't say you're crazy, but you're missing out on an opportunity that could change not only your life, your future kids' life, and your family's life, because some of the opportunities that are presented in that league, you're not going to get in other places. It's that time of the night. One of my favorite parts of the segment, It's time for the unsigned segment. And one of the things that I pride myself on this right here, some of these kids that we have shown over the past 3 months are actually getting offers. They're actually accepting them. And, it's not to say that they may not have gotten it if it wasn't for this, but just to have a hand in this has been something that I pride myself in. And we're going to keep doing this. And also, the Love the Game podcast they're going to fire this back up as well, because, Coach Allen is passionate about this as well. And we are all about seeing kids succeed. And with kids succeeding and getting the offers, it's not about us saying, oh, look at what we did. It's about seeing that kid 2 or 3 years from now excelling on the court. And in 4 years or 5 years from now, wearing that cap and gown and that tassel. That's the biggest thing, because, this is an opportunity that kids have to cherish and take advantage of. So we're going to start with our first kid for tonight. The first one is, give me 1 second. We're going to go with a kid from Valdosta High School. His name is Dorian Douglas from Valdosta High School. Was an all-region player. He's a 2021 kid, 6-foot guard, good GPA. He's going to be playing with Georgia Man Up unsigned this summer. I look forward to seeing what he has to offer. So we're going to go ahead and roll the highlights. Happy with the ball. Definitely one of South Georgia's best players, by all means, one of his best players. Nice little jump shot. Aggressive getting to the board. I think a lot of people are missing out on this guy. I think he's going to be a nice little addition to some program. Again, crafty.
Man, I wasn't going to let you roll solo, man.
Hey, we got another guest. Hey, how you doing, guy? My name's David Jones, man. Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you.
I figured I wouldn't let you go solo, man. We would I would ride shotgun for these, man.
Hey. The leather's always open, brother. The leather is always open. We don't do cloth seats. We got leather for you, okay?
Hey, coaches, y'all gonna love Dorian, man. This kid just knows how to fill it up. What I love about him is that there are no wasted dribbles. If you see and you watch his plays, he understands how to get to his spot quickly. 1, 2, no more than 3 dribbles, and his decision is made, and he's scoring the ball. Super efficient, buys into playing defense, great IQ, really understands how to play the game. But here's the thing. The kicker, coach, high academic kid.
Yes.
High academic kid, coach.
Yes.
We're talking about a kid that when I first talked to him told me, Coach, I want to be a mechanical engineering major. Understands, great head on his shoulder, a yes sir, no sir type of kid, just a gym rat, a worker. We understand how tough it is in recruiting and how crazy some of those things can get. With Dorian, it was really simple, straightforward. He understood exactly what he wanted, didn't play around, made his decision quickly. That tells me, coaches, if you offer and you build some sort of rapport relationship with the kid, if y'all can work out academically a program that he likes, that he wants, he's not going to string you along all summer either. He's going to make his decision pretty quickly if he gets something that he really likes. So I was really impressed by this kid, his mentality, and how he goes about his business. I really was.
Definitely. I think he fits the moniker perfectly, a hidden gem by all means, because I mean, this guy can go. He can definitely go. And I'm looking at him like, I think it's just a matter of time before somebody says, we want this type of kid in our program. And I think I preach on this program all the time. With him being a high academic kid, for you to miss out on this kid, I just wouldn't understand. And that goes for any program, that teaches academics and a guy that can actually play.
Coach, we're talking about 3.61 GPA and a test score.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, this kid is right there, ready to be scooped up and ready to be in somebody's program and go to work. So,
definitely. Our next prospect is from Marietta High School, Isaiah Nelson. He's a 6'8", 2022 prospect. Forward center. Has a lot. He was all region this year. Definitely a prospect that you definitely want to have in your book for next year. Long, athletic, still some room to work. Could put on a couple more pounds. When I look at this kid and the right program with player development, I think you guys will really have a steal here. Definitely.
Hey, look, in that last play, you get an assist from TJ, another man up kid, to Isaiah, a possible man up kid. Will be out there with us this summer. Like you said, Coach, 6'8". Coach, if you walked in the gym and I told you the kid was 6'10", I don't think you would blink too tough. Like, he's long. He is a long kid when you see him. To me, the biggest thing about Isaiah is with his size, he runs like a deer. Most kids can't, at that size, don't move that good. So for what he lacks, in some other areas, okay, maybe you would want his inside presence to be a little better as far as footwork and things like that with some of his offensive moves. But what he lacks, as you can see, he gives you with athleticism. He gives you, look at him, chase down the ball after a dunk, and he beats the ball, and he's caught up with the ball running down the floor. I tell coaches all the time, Coach, we talk about it, Dave. Hey, man, if he could do everything, Coach, you might not be able to get him. If he could do it all, Isaiah will be going to UCLA, Coach. He might not have a chance to go get him at a lower level. This is a kid that you can go get. Mom is really just concerned, hey, I just want my son to get a quality education that we can afford. So to me, a great fit for a kid that, as you can see like that, cleans it up, goes to the glass, cleans it up, and finishes inside.
Nice. Again, what you just echoed right there, the potential is there. And that's one of the first words I wanted to say. Outside of potential, this kid with the right program, I see he has, oh man.
Coach, and this is the thing, and I just got off the phone with the high school coach, with the high school assistant just a few seconds ago. What this highlight doesn't even show is Isaiah has a good mid-range game.
Yeah.
15, 18 feet. He's knocking that down very consistently at a high clip too. So definitely still a young developing player. He's got some left in the tank, which I think is not a knock. I think it's a great thing because you don't want a player in your program that's already peaked. This is a player with untapped, unlimited potential at this point.
Definitely. The next prospect is a post-grad prospect. And when I look at this kid, how much better he has gotten from high school to post-grad speaks volumes. Now, you would have saw him last year and said, he has potential. I like him. But a year of post-grad and him working with the right coach in post-grad, This kid is now a steal. And that's just the situation where I look at people. You need to understand this kid here, he's going to be good. And it took that year of post-grad, I think, to really separate him so where you can see, okay, this guy is going to be a monster wherever he decides to go. Sean Rutledge from T-Lab Sports Academy down in Florida. 6'6" guy, wide body, athletic, and goes hard. Actually, he will be running with Man Up this summer as well. And this is a guy I fully expect to open some eyes when they see the type of way he plays and the aggression and the tenacity he goes at it with. Trust me, this is a guy you will fully understand. How is he still on the board? And one of the first questions I get where people find this type of gem, what's wrong? Nothing. He's gotten a lot better.
Hey, coach, he played for a high school, East Paulding High School, where people don't traditionally go get players.
Yeah,
that's all that happened. So he went to T-Lab, worked on his game, like you said. He got better, and I think you described him perfectly. Like Coach Huff said, Coach Huff wants guards and monsters. This kid is a monster.
Monster. Yes, he is.
He is a monster, but he's a monster that can shoot the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Plays extremely, extremely hard. His motor is on 1,000 every possession.
I tell people he is definitely going to make some noise this summer. Definitely.
I compared him, D, to an offensive lineman because he's nasty. You want your offensive lineman to have a mean streak in him. This kid has a mean streak in him in a good way.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let him know. Talk to him.
Listen, I'm excited to see that kid this summer. Definitely excited. That kid is there's no doubt in my mind he is going to open some eyes, and some calls will be coming in regards to him. I think it's just a matter of time for him. Definitely a matter of time. We got two girls. We always got to show love to the two young ladies as well. First lady is from Kennesaw Mountain, Madison Clark, a 6'1" forward. Man, let me tell y'all something. I pride myself in finding, like, okay, where did she come from? This is one right here. She can play. She can out. I'm like, it doesn't even match the offer she has. And it's no disrespect to anybody. And I know I'm telling the truth because I sent her to a JUCO and they were like, wait a minute. The JUCO was even like, I like this kid so much, I'm going to send her to some D1s and D2s right now, and she may end up going right now. Now, congratulations to her. She did pick up her first D1 offer, but previous to that, Dre, she had Pitt Bradford. I was like, shout out to Pitt Bradford. Listen, that's no knock. I'm from Pittsburgh, so don't y'all come for my head. Don't y'all come for my head.
Don't be disrespectful, D. Don't be disrespectful.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when y'all watch this, you're going to be asking why. Go ahead and roll the tape, man.
I love when you find these, D. On the girl side, you are always finding 6'1", 6'2" with handle. Bro. Like, you always finding those forwards.
And I'm looking like, okay, what are we missing here? Like, she can play, man.
You know how it is, man. Sometimes it's hard. There's so many kids.
Yeah.
Great cut.
Bro, I'm telling you. Let me just put this out there. The JUCO coach just recently told me that I showed her Madison Clark, and then I showed her another young lady that was a McDonald's nominee and said she would take her over the McDonald's nominee.
Just finish her. Wait a minute. I've seen left-handed finishes and right-handed finishes from this.
Bro, you need to hear me. I'm telling you.
Cut again. Give and go.
She can play, and her IQ is right, man. What are we missing here?
Oh, don't do that. Don't act like that with the turnaround jump shot, though.
What are we missing, Dre? I mean, this is crazy. She can play.
Hey, listen, I feel like she can shoot too because on that.
Ooh.
Whoa! Oh! Don't do that.
I'm telling you, bro, she can play. So let's just, and I knew I was onto something. I started out on D2. The first thing I got, what's her phone number?
Wow, I'm looking at the spin move, the left right finish. What I'm also looking at D2 is, if you notice on the last highlight, she hit a mid range, but when she stepped behind that 3-point line, they closed out hard. That tells me she can shoot too.
Exactly. Pull up. Good D.
On the push.
You know what, man? I'm gonna say this, and this may sound crazy. I think because she has a 3.4 GPA. I honestly think because she's such a hidden gem, I think if she went JUCO, she may end up going mid. She may end up going mid, Dre.
I can see it. She's balling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I rarely say, hey, you need to go JUCO because
there it is, behind the three. I told you. I told you. I knew I saw it. You don't close out that hard for a non-shooter.
I'm just saying, man, Dre, if they don't get involved now, bro, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like HBCUs, y'all need to be calling like now. Well,
South Carolina logo.
I'm telling you, bro, she can play, man.
Yo.
Trust me. After tonight, man, I guarantee you she's going to get some more calls because she already started to get calls when I featured her as player of the week. But, bro, trust me, after tonight, she will be hearing from some coaches. Trust me.
She is going crazy.
She can play, man. I'm like,
kick it to her corner, bang.
Dre, like, yeah, D3s was like, we love you. I'm sure you do. But I'm like, yo, she's not D3. And that's no knock to any D3, but I'm like, this is a player right here, man. This is a player.
And she's out there feeling it too. She's talking like she feeling it. Oh, don't do that.
I'm gonna holler at you.
Yo,
Dre.
I'm sorry.
Am I missing something?
Highlights rock longer than normal, D, because that's crazy,
bro. When I seen this and the way I found her, I'll tell you off of air, bro. It was by sheer luck. Well, let's just say this: it was because of another player that was a boy.
I got you. I think I know how that came about.
Yes. It was a congratulations to the other player. And I was like, let me see what's going on. Whoa, wait a minute. That's what I was like, Dre. I was like, okay, wait a minute. And I saw this and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And when she told me the offers, I was like, that doesn't add up. Then I'm thinking to myself, is something going on? No, bro, nothing. Research done. Bro.
So many players, man, just need an advocate. You know,
listen,
if you grow up in a household where maybe, maybe the parent doesn't necessarily know, they're just happy to see their kid playing and doing good.
Bro,
you know, we've talked to parents that have said, I don't care where he goes, I just want him to go.
Here's an advocate right here. Here's an advocate. She can play, man. I had no problem with you playing those extended highlights, bro. She's cold. She is cold. And I'll tell her tonight as well. I talked to her on Twitter, like, yo, you can play. Stop playing. You can play.
Definitely.
Our last one is the same range, 6'1" forward senior. Her name is Jordan Granberry from Bishop Ironton High School out there in Alexandria, Virginia. She reached out to me and I was like, okay, let me see what's going on. It was either her or her parents that reached out to me. I was like, hey, she's going to be a Madre Allen special. When I see her, she plays like she's from Kentucky because she's the ultimate team player. She's not going to jump off the board at you and be like, oh my gosh, athleticism. No. But when she played that pass cut game and knocked down that jumper, she's from Kentucky. Well, she's not from Kentucky, but she got that Kentucky aura with her.
Hey, man, you know what it is? We just like people that can hoop.
She can hoop. And that's what she can hoop, bro. Plain and simple. She can hoop.
I love that triple threat game.
Yeah, she can hoop, bro. Like I said, it's nothing that just jumps out, but leave her open and see what happens. She's going to hit the open player, and you leave her open, it's going to get ugly.
I love these passes. That's good basketball.
Pink.
D'ing up on the perimeter. Hey, you know how it is. You guard what you can guard. And see her out there guarding on the perimeter. That's good stuff. Good release.
Bruh, I'm telling you, like, when I look at her, I'm like, okay, her athleticism doesn't jump out at me, but her IQ jumps out at me. Like, bruh, she's diming her players, and she can get her own shot when she wants it, sure.
What I love about that last assist that she got was that she set up the angle. She took the ball down lower so she could make the right pass.
Yeah, definitely. When I see her, and she has she's a 3.8 GPA. So when I see her, I say Patriot League, Ivy League.
I like it for sure. Look at her moving them feet. You are what you can guard in this game. You are whatever you can guard, and she's out there playing defense.
That's why I said, man, I see her. You leave her open, you're gonna pay, and then she gonna find her. Like, I would love playing with her. Like, she's gonna find you.
That's a great
see what I'm saying? She's going to find you, Dre. Unselfish. It's not like she's trying to hit 50, but if you leave her open, she's gonna make you pay.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
You did a good job again, D.
Hey, bro, that's what I had for tonight. For the rest of you that are sending in, please be patient as I go through all of them. There are hidden ones, just like we just showed tonight. And we're going to keep doing this. Like I said, we're going to do this on Hoops Hidden Gems. And Dre's going to fire this back up on Love of the Game podcast because it's more, it's not only is it needed, but it's more kids of 2021. They got it rough. They just honestly got it rough. And whatever we can do to help to put them out there, you never know who's watching and who's going to contact you. And I will say this to prospects, don't turn your nose up at any school because you never know who they know. So as they say in the college profession, the coaching profession, oh, I called the kid and they big time me. You don't want to be labeled that. Trust me. Trust me. So that's going to be the show for tonight. Man, I want to thank you all for being patient with me these past 2 weeks. I'm in Kentucky during the week and back in Atlanta during the weekends. So, you know, we were off these past 2 weeks, but we're back up and going strong. Next week, I got a show for y'all next week. We got one of our favorite guys coming. Well, I may have to check that, but for right now, because he's winning, so I'm going to have to holler at him. Coach Cabrillo Huff is coming on the show next week, but if he's winning, he may not be coming next week, and we will fully understand because we support what he's doing down there. We also have the coach from West Virginia State's women's team coming, and we're working to confirm our post-grad coach for next week. So we got a nice little lineup for next week, and man, I appreciate y'all for sticking with us, man. We are definitely advocating for all you guys, and the passion that Coach Dre and I show for this show, listen, it's going to show. It's just going to show, and there's nothing else to be said. And we're going to keep rocking this, and we're going to keep moving in right directions. And there's a lot more stuff coming up in these next couple of weeks. Just stay tuned, and you will see just by the guests that are coming and how hard we work. We tell people all the time, you may be better than us, but you will never outwork us. Always remember that, man. That's it for tonight, man. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you for tuning in, man. Good night.
Peace, 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 peace.